Oh, finally he let me go. Oh, hello everyone. Apologies for the delay. I was helplessly lugged around all sorts of places by a large purple cat. He was looking for some frog that had merged with a shiny stone, or something like that. Speaking of merging things, this video was originally planned to be two separate discussions. However, once I realized that both centered around just one lone Pokemon, I decided that I would attempt to merge the two ideas into one big mess. So find a seat and get comfy, because today I'll be answering the question, what is the smartest business within the Pokemon world? To begin, there are many businesses found throughout the Pokemon franchise. From simple but widely spread stores like the Pokemart, to larger organizations focused around crafting new gadgets and other pieces of technology, such as Silphco. All these different companies commence their practices under different fields, such as retail, office work, hospitality, construction, healthcare, beauty, the arts, and so much more. These industries aim to provide goods and services to help people throughout their day-to-day lives. Now, one element that nearly all these industries share is the old adage, time is money. As everyone wants convenience. If you have two nearly identical businesses, but one can get the job done faster than the other, then most of the time you'll pick them over their competitor. And while I believe that Pokemon would have come along to help people with their work, making everything move more efficiently, I believe that there are two industries that I have left unmentioned where Pokemon could remove the need for them altogether. So, to create the smartest and most profitable business in this world, I will explain how I could replace both the vehicle manufacturing and travel industry. While most of the time we see our character going about their journey either on foot or by bike, when they're not using their Pokemon of course, there are moments when we see them and other people using different modes of transport to get around, such as planes, boats, bikes, and even cars. But why are these vehicles here? We see in multiple generations that not only do the protagonists, but also other characters, like Stephen Stone, use their Pokemon to travel quickly across the regions. Why doesn't everyone just have a Pokemon that can use moves like Fly, Rock Climb, or Surf? Well, think of it this way. It's easy enough to teach a dog to swim. In fact, most of the time, it comes to them naturally. However, then trying to get on the dog's back while having them carry you across the water is a completely different story. I believe that almost every Pokemon has the ability to swim. Yet to then be able to safely carry a person along with them would understandably be difficult for many of the Pokemon. As for travelling via the HM Fly, all flying types have the ability to soar across the sky, as we see in sky battles, but taking someone with them might be too challenging for some. While there are memes around some Pokemon being able to use the HM over others, I still feel that this makes sense as to why some flying types cannot learn Fly, being too difficult or dangerous for that Pokemon to do so, and carry someone along with them. On a similar note, with the rideable Pokemon, they seem to only be given out to people who have proven themselves capable at handling them. As in the Sun and Moon games, you only receive these type of Pokemon after reaching certain milestones or completing challenges made for aspiring trainers, such as the Lapis Paddles after finishing Lana's trial. Some businesses currently do exist that take advantage of using Pokemon to help people travel, like the flying taxis found throughout the Galar region. While this method works at removing the need for a vehicle, you will still need an operator who most likely has spent quite a lot of their time training alongside their Corviknight. These taxis sport a saddle for the operator, a seating area for the customers, and straps for the Corviknight to carry its metal frame. Still, for my business, I want to narrow this down further and make something where the average person can go in right away and use the Pokemon without any necessary steps. The main factor here is that some people just aren't proficient at training Pokemon. But is there a way to use one to help us travel both quickly and safely? Is there a move that wouldn't require much training, be too difficult to locate, or need a veteran trainer to use? Yes. Teleport. In later generations, this move can be used by wild Pokemon to flee from battles, while in parties, it will swap out the user for another member of the team. However, in earlier generations, it had an additional effect outside of battle. When used, the Pokemon and their trainer almost instantaneously blink to the front of the last Pokemon Center where that trainer last visited. In my mind, I see this move as the Pokemon simply taking their trainer to the last place that they, the trainer, saw as safe. As if you were to capture an Abra in the wild, it will still teleport to the Pokemon Center, even though the Pokemon itself would have never visited that place. I believe the restriction of teleportable locations is simply by game design, as wild Pokemon wouldn't be sending themselves within cities surrounded by humans after just escaping one. No, I believe that when a wild Pokemon teleports, it's most likely sending itself to a spot it considers safe, like its own nest. I believe this is mostly down to a psychic link that's formed when using the move, allowing the Pokemon to see where it's sending them, even if the Pokemon themselves have never been to that location. With this in mind, we have a move that can send both you and the Pokemon spontaneously to any location, as long as either of you have visited it in the past and believe it to be a safe place to travel to with no harm. It wouldn't just be a one-way trip either, as the move can be used up to 20 times, or 32 if we focus on raising its power points through items, meaning that our customers can go about their days shifting wherever they needed to in an instant. Even if we were to rent out the Pokemon, then they would be able to return to the business after a set amount of time, or once it only has one remaining use of teleport left. Distance is also an interesting factor to think over. As we see in both Gens 2 and 4, the player is able to use teleport to travel from the Kanto region over to Johto, or vice versa, in a matter of seconds. And without any direct statement on the maximum range on this move, we only have our imaginations to determine how far we could go. And who's to say, it couldn't send us from one country to another. Using Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's obedience system, the average person would be able to use any Pokemon as long as it was captured and learns teleport below the level of 25. Because after that, the customer might begin to struggle using the Pokemon. Here are the Pokemon that would fit this role perfectly. We will be ignoring those that can learn teleport through TM, as for the business it would be easier to simply use Pokemon that can naturally learn the move. As we'll be handing out these Pokemon to people who most likely don't train Pokemon, and just want a faster way to skip traffic to get to work, I'll be removing all the evolutions, as the first forms would be easier for people to handle, leaving us with Abra, Natu, Routes, and LGM. Out of these four, who do I think makes for the best choice? Well, I think it's obvious. Abra. As out of the four, it is the only Pokemon that starts with the move Teleport once hatched. All the others gain this move at higher levels. This means as a business, we won't have to waste time or resources training these Pokemon up, with Abra being ready from the get-go. So, what do I think the outcome of this business venture would be? Well, I would see vehicles such as cars and motorbikes only being sought after as luxury items, a sort of means to show off one's status. Emergency vehicles might stay, but why would you need a fire truck if you could teleport some water types and firefighters close by to the burning building? I think both planes and boats would remain, as while there isn't a definitive answer on how far a Pokemon could teleport, I would say that there must be some sort of limit, so country to country travel might not be possible. So, there you have it. I was planning to make a video where I would gain my fortune by setting up a business using Abras to teleport people to wherever they needed to go. Until I realized that there already is one found within the early generations of the Pokémon games. The Game Corner, specifically the two located in both Kanto as well as the Johto region, where anyone and everyone can exchange money for the Game Corner's own branded coins, which then can be used to play a few different styles of games in hopes to win a higher return. If and when someone rolls lucky, they can take their winnings to a nearby counter and exchange these coins, not for money, but for prizes. Some of these prizes happen to be Pokémon. Now, ignoring the moral questionability of selling creatures as prizes, the selection of awarded Pokémon is interesting. Depending on the version, the Goldenrod Game Corner stocks Ekans, Sandshrew, Cubone, Wobbuffet, Dratini, and finally, no matter the copy, all the different Johto games share Abra as a prize. Kanto is wildly different, with what you could collect from the counter across game to game, but Abra can be found almost all the time, apart from Gens 2 and 4, where once again you would have to travel to Goldenrod to acquire one. No matter which region you visit though, if Abras are available, they are always given away as the lowest priced prize, ranging anywhere between 100 to 230 coins, making an average of 165 coins needed across all the games. As a quick side tangent, if you're wondering how they would come across enough Abras to keep giving away as the cheapest prize, we all know for a fact that they most likely found someone breeding Abras for either shinies or perfect IVs, and then just paid them a small fee for all the Pokemon that this person doesn't seem necessary to their standards. So supply would never be an issue for these associations. Back to the matter at hand though, as I mentioned earlier, patrons must exchange their own money into the Game Corner's own currency. Sort of like what most companies do with their own in-game stores nowadays. Think Overwatch 2 and its credits, or Fortnite and V-Bucks. This currency can cost either 1,000 Pokédollars for 50 coins, or 10,000 Pokédollars for 500. Meaning if we were to take the average coin cost from earlier, you would need to spend the low price of at least 4,000 Pokédollars for one easy mode of transport for years to come. Oh, do I believe that the Game Corner is the smartest company solely for selling Abras? Of course not. It's the price that they sell them at, that's the genius part. Ignoring the games where Abra's price can be cleanly divided by 50, while also using our own average spend of 4,000 Pokédollars, we would be given a return of 200 Game Corner coins. As our average coins needed to buy an Abra is only 165, this would leave us with 35 left in our pocket. Which would be fine, but as stated, Abra is always the cheapest prize at the counters. Remember, you can't return the coins back for money either, meaning you'll have to just be satisfied with carrying these coins forever. Well, unless you go back inside and spend them on the games. You did just see them offering a Dratini. That'd be cool to have if you win. Surely, you wouldn't lose all your coins, then head back up to the counter to spend more of your own money to try your luck over and over again. Not only are these stores providing customers convenience, but a chance of instantaneous travel to pretty much wherever they want, but they're sure to just leave you with enough coins to maybe have you coming back for more. Maybe just once or twice, or maybe for many years to come. And while the game corners are described as shady and bad for their respective cities' images, I cannot lie that due to this shady strategy, I had to say that the Kanto and Johto game corners are the smartest businesses throughout the Pokemon franchise. But perhaps it was a good thing that they all closed down for good in later generations. Wait a minute. Closed down? That means there is room in the market for my business after all. Well everyone, I'm off to make my riches. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please leave a like. If you didn't, then let my new business venture blow up in my face. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, Abra, use teleport! Oh, this looks like a perfect spot to set up business. It looks like all the VT's blasting off again!